Hi guys, welcome to Ollyboard, and I'm Saurabh, your science faculty, and welcoming everyone in Ollyboard. And in this video, we are going to discuss very important chapter of science, that is chemical equations. Okay, and this chapter, chemical equation, is very important. And basically, in this chapter particularly, we are going to discuss about various kind of chemical reactions like displacement reaction, decomposition reaction, double displacement reaction, what is redox reaction, oxidation and reduction. Okay, so we will talk about these things. Okay, and this is a very easy topic. Okay, easy to understand, and you will get to know with examples also. I have taken so many of examples. Okay, and I will explain whole chapter in just by taking the example, so that you can get better understanding of the types of reaction or chemical equation things. Okay, so take your pen and paper, do make the notes also. Okay, and let's start our class. So okay guys, so let's start. Chemical equations chemical equations, this is our today's topic, very important. And we will start with very basic definition. Basically, it's understanding that what is chemical equation, and then after we will start our class. So what is the chemical equations? So here it is written that a word equation shows change of reactant to products. What it is saying, a word equation shows, this is a word equation. What is the meaning of word equation? Means magnesium is a word, and what is the symbol of magnesium? Mg. Oxygen is a word. What is the symbol of oxygen? O2. Magnesium oxide, this is a word, and what is the sign of magnesium oxide? MgO. Clear? So a word equation, we are talking about this equation, change shows change of reactants to products. What are the reactants? These magnesium plus oxygen, this is reactant. And this equation showing that change of this reactants into what? Into products, through an arrow placed between them. The reactants are written on the left hand side with a plus sign between them. Similarly, products are written on the right hand side with a plus sign between them if there are two products, not necessary for every time. As you can see, here is a single product. Okay, so it is not necessary that there will be also two product. Okay, single product is also possible, so at that time there is no need to put any kind of symbol here there. The arrowhead point towards the products and shows the direction of the reaction. The arrowhead point towards the products, which means that this arrow. Okay, this is arrowhead, and this is pointing towards this, which means these are the reactants, and these reactants are changing into products. These reactants are changing into products. So what is the direction of the reaction? Direction of the reaction is from here to here. That is, when you add magnesium and oxygen, in the presence of oxygen, magnesium converts to, in the presence of oxygen, magnesium converts into magnesium oxide product. Clear? So, and this is a symbol equation. Here you can see symbol equation. Okay, so basically this type of equation are called as chemical equation. This type of equation are called as chemical equation. Clear? And now there are so many types of chemical equation, we will discuss one by one. Here you can see magnesium, when you added with oxygen, magnesium oxide you will get. Clear? So this is a chemical equation, and this arrow represents the direction of the reaction, as well as the it represents arrow basically represents the product. Arrow represents the product, and the tail of the arrow represents reactants. Clear? Now, what is balanced chemical equations? What is balanced? Now, there can be a chemical equation, but chemical equations are always balanced. What is the meaning of balanced chemical equation? Just try to understand from the law of conservation of mass. I'm just giving you a simple example. Law of conservation of mass. What is law of conservation of mass? That mass can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can change form one form to another form. It can transfer from one place to another place, or it can change from one form to another form. Clear? Similarly, as the law of conservation of mass, balanced chemical equation works, that the total mass of the elements, or this is also a very you can say a confusing definition. The first line is very important, that the number of atoms, simple, very simple and crisp. This line, this black part, that the number of atoms of each element remains the same before and after a chemical reaction. Before and after a chemical reaction, what I'm saying, what I just said, that the number of atoms of each element, let's say there are hydrogen, so number of hydrogen in the reactant and in the product should remain equal. Similarly, if we talk about oxygen, the number of oxygen in the reactant should be equal to the number of oxygen in the product. Similarly, we talk about, let's say iron is there, let's say zinc is there, or whatever atom can be, if that atom, let's say 2, 3 or 4 of number is present in the reactants, then that number should also be present in product. Clear? And that is called as balanced chemical equation. And in another word, the total mass of elements present in product of a chemical reaction. Total mass means when you add the mass of these reactants. Okay, when you add the mass of these reactants, or when you add the mass of the products, that mass should be equal to the sum of the that mass should be must be equal to the total mass of elements present in the reactants also. Let's say here you can see zinc and sulfuric acid is there. So what is the total mass? Mass of zinc plus mass of 2 hydrogen plus mass of 4 oxygen plus mass of 1 sulfur. This total mass should be equal to the mass of 1 zinc plus mass of 4 oxygen plus mass of 1 sulfur plus mass of 2 hydrogen. Okay, so here you can see the mass is similar here. 1 zinc and 1 zinc is there, 2 hydrogen is there, 4 oxygen is there, and 1 sulfur and 1 sulfur is there. Okay, so mass is the same in where? In reactants also, the total mass is same in reactants also and products also. So this kind of equation are called as balanced chemical equation, because this equation is completely balanced. This equation is completely balanced. Is it understood? Now let us try to balance some reaction. Here you can see that iron, when it is reacted with water, what you got? Ferric oxide, Fe3O4 plus hydrogen gas. Fe3O4 plus hydrogen gas. Clear? So, and this Fe3O4 is a solid substance, and here iron is solid and H2O is gas. So but if you see, this is not a balanced chemical equation, because how you can say that this is not balanced? Here you can see only one atom of iron is present, and in the product, this is what? This is the product part, and this is what? This is the reactant part. So only one iron is present in the reactant, and how many? Fe3O4. Fe3O4, what is the meaning of that? That there are 4 oxygen atom. This is the meaning of this symbol. And here Fe3 means there are 3 iron atoms. This is the meaning of these symbols, that this lower script Fe3 or O4, which means there are 4 oxygen, there are 3 iron atoms. Clear? So now here you can see that in reactants only one iron is there, and in product Fe3O4, which means 3 iron is there. Similarly, in the reactant one oxygen is there, and in the product 4 oxygen is there. So this is not balanced. This reaction is not balanced at all. So first try to balance that reaction, and whenever you try to balance the reaction, balance oxygen and hydrogen at the last. I'm writing here, balance oxygen at second last point, and balance hydrogen at the last. Okay, balance hydrogen at the last and balance oxygen at the second last point. And what you need to balance first? Whatever the rest element is present, like in this reaction, Fe plus H2O, hydrogen and oxygen and iron is there. So oxygen you need to balance in the second last condition, and hydrogen you need to balance in the last condition. So what you will balance first? That iron atom. Iron atom you will balance first. Clear? So note this point, very very important. I'm going to erase it. Note this point. Balance oxygen at second last point. Balance hydrogen at the last point. Understood? So now try to balance. There is one iron and there is 3 Fe. Okay, so multiply the above equation by 3. Okay, here I'm going to multiply the Fe by 3. I multiplied the Fe iron by 3 in the left hand side. Now H2O is there, and now this reaction is right, Fe3O4 plus H2. Clear? Now here we can see, just by multiplying by 3 in the reactant iron, what we can see, that there is 3 iron atom and there is also 3 iron atom, but oxygen atoms are not equal. So first we have already balanced the iron. Now second last is what? Last is oxygen. So now balance oxygen. There is a 4 oxygen and there is a single oxygen. There is a single oxygen in the reactant. So multiply this H2O by 4. So what will happen? This 4 is also multiplied with this 4 also includes, whenever you write something in the front of the element, not element, compound, let's say, okay, or a substance, whenever you put any kind of number here, like H2O, and I am writing 4H2O, which means this 4 is multiplied to this H2, and this 4 is also multiplied with this oxygen. Okay, so here you can see, when I multiplied by 4 to the water molecule in the reactant, which means oxygen is also balanced. There is also 4 oxygen. Here you can see also there is a 4 oxygen. Now, at last, what you need to balance? The hydrogen. What you need to balance? The hydrogen. 4H2, which means how many hydrogen are there? 8 hydrogen atoms are there. 8 hydrogen atoms are there. This is H2. This is H2 molecule, which means 2 hydrogen are there. And 4 you are multiplying factor here. So 4 to the 8 hydrogen are there overall. Clear? But how many hydrogen in the product side? H2, only 2 hydrogen is there. So multiply by 4 in the product hydrogen gas, and so you will get this reaction, that 3Fe solid. F represents solid here. This symbol in the bracket represents solid. Iron you are taking in solid. 4H2O, which means you are taking water in the form of steam or gas. Water you are taking in the form of steam or gas. Fe3O4 ferric oxide, it's a solid substance and it is the ore of iron. And this 4 of H2, this bracket G represents, this is a gas, and again this is a solid. Okay, so whatever the symbol you will get in the bracket part, like if you will get L, which represents that substance is in liquid state. Clear? And S is for solid state, and G is for gaseous state. Clear? So this is unbalanced chemical equation. Unbalanced chemical equation unbalanced chemical equation and this is balanced chemical equation. Chemical equation. Clear? So now you can understand that how you can balance some reaction. Okay, oxygen second last and the hydrogen last, and whatever the rest element, whatever it is, balance at the first position. Clear? Now we will see that how many chemical equations are present, how many types are there in chemical equation. So combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, and oxidation and reduction. Okay, these are the 5 types of chemical equation. Clear? And we will understand one by one. Let's start with combination reaction. So combination reaction, from the name itself, uh, what this reaction can be, that in this reaction, such a reaction in which a single product is formed from 2 or more reactants is known as combination reaction. Very, very easy. Combination, which means something is getting combined. Okay, you are combining something. So you are combining something. So such a reaction in which a single product, which means combined product, single product is formed from two or more reactants is known as combination reaction. Here you can see what we are doing. We are adding calcium oxide uh, with water, or you can say we are adding water in the calcium oxide. And what is the common name of calcium oxide? It is quicklime. It is quicklime, calcium oxide. When we add water in it, and bracket L represents water you are adding in liquid state, and calcium oxide quicklime is in solid state. So what will happen? What will happen? Slaked lime will form. Slaked lime, CaOH ka whole twice, calcium hydroxide will form. Calcium hydroxide will form, and common name of calcium hydroxide is slaked lime. So just after combining two reactants, we are getting a single product. We are getting a single product here. Okay, so this kind of reaction where single product is formed from two or more reactants is known as combination reaction. Clear? Very, very easy. Very, very easy. Here, just uh, the line which is written here is nothing but it's a equation that calcium oxide reacts vigorously with water to produce slaked lime, calcium hydroxide, releasing a large amount of it. Releasing a large amount of it. So what is your single or combined product? Calcium hydroxide or slaked lime, and bubbles will evolve there, okay, as the form of heat. Okay, large amount of heat will release. Clear? And here are the some examples of combination reaction, like burning of coal. Burning of coal, कोयले का जलना. Like coal is a solid substance. Okay, and always when you burn something, so there should be oxygen. Okay, okay, because in the presence of oxygen only you can burn anything. So if you are burning coal, which means there is oxygen, there is oxygen gas in the form of gas. Okay, so uh, whenever in chemistry you see any kind of reaction in which oxygen is there, which means we are burning something. We are burning something, or just we are adding oxygen to it. Okay, oxygen to it. And whenever you just saw written something like burning of something, then always fix that thing in your mind, that there is a reaction between oxygen and some another substance, because oxygen is the necessary requirement of burning. Okay, so see, carbon is a solid substance. Okay, coal, it's a stone, basically stone, and in the presence of oxygen, when it burns, what releases? It releases carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere. It releases carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere. So there are two reactants, and after combining, they converted into single product. They converted into single product. Clear? So this is the example of combination reaction. Similarly, second, formation of water from hydrogen and oxygen gas. When you add two molecules of hydrogen with one molecules of oxygen, we you will get two molecules of water. Two molecules of water. So basically there are two molecules of hydrogen. Okay, and these two molecules you are adding with one molecule of oxygen. So there are three molecules, basically H2 plus H2 plus oxygen. Okay, and these three reactants are combining together and forming a single product of water molecule. Single product of water molecule, 2H2O, which means there are two water molecules, but product is single. Product is single, or you can say there are two reactants and only single product is formed. There is only two reactants and only a single product is formed. Clear? So this kind of reaction are called as combination reaction. Clear? Now decomposition reaction. Again from the name itself. Again from the name itself. In this reaction, you can observe that a single reactant. Now reactant is single. Okay. In combination reaction, we were getting product as a single product by combining two reactants or more than two reactants. Now in decomposition reaction, which means something is getting decomposed, which means in this reaction you can observe the single reactant breaks down to give us simpler products. This is a decomposition reaction. From the name itself only you can visualize that thing. Like here you can see, sorry, here you can see that ferrous sulfate is there, FeSO4. Okay, two molecules of ferrous sulfate is there, FeSO4, solid form mein. When you heat that ferrous sulfate, okay, when you heat two molecules of ferrous sulfate, it forms what? It forms a ferric oxide, that is Fe2O3, plus sulfur dioxide plus sulfur trioxide. Sulfur trioxide. Okay, so how many products you got? You got three products. You got three products single single reactant. Okay, so this is reactant is decomposed now. This reactant, that is ferrous sulfate, it is now decomposed when you heat this ferrous sulfate, and now it is converted into what? Ferric oxide plus sulfur dioxide plus sulfur trioxide. Clear? So this kind of reaction is called as decomposition reaction, where you get two or more than two products from a single reactant. Clear? Very easy from the name itself. Now, ferrous sulfate crystals FeSO4.7H2O loses water when heated and color of crystal changes. It then decomposes to ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide. Clear? Ferric oxide is a solid while SO2 and SO3 are gases. Clear? This represents bracket mein small s represents solid and small g represents gases. Clear? Okay. Now, similarly, there are a few another examples of decomposition reaction here. You can see like limestone calcium carbonate, or another name of limestone is calcium carbonate. Okay, so calcium carbonate, now when you heat calcium carbonate now it converts into quicklime, that is calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. It will convert into carbon dioxide as well as calcium oxide. So again, you are getting two products here. You are getting two products here from a single reactant, which means this single reactant of limestone or calcium carbonate, it decomposed when you heat, uh, when you heat the calcium carbonate, na, it converts into what? Calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So single reactant, again it is changing into a again it is changing into two or more than two products. So this is an example of decomposition reaction. Again, lead nitrate, very important example, PbNO3 ka whole twice. PbNO3 ka whole twice, there are two molecules of lead nitrate, and when you heat lead nitrate na, it converts into lead oxide plus four molecules of nitrogen dioxide and oxygen gas. Okay, nitrogen dioxide, lead oxide and oxygen gas you are getting. So lead nitrate, again it's a single reactant, and from this single reactant you are getting three products. You are getting three products. So again, lead nitrate is now decomposed here and it is converted into three products. And whenever you heat lead nitrate, there you will able to see brown fumes, and that brown fumes are because of very important brown fumes you will get whenever you will heat lead nitrate. Okay, just remember, whenever you will heat lead nitrate you will get brown fumes, and these brown fumes are because of the release of nitrogen dioxide gas. Nitrogen dioxide gas is responsible is responsible for brown fumes. Very important. Brown fumes, very important for examination. Okay, so just remember these things from the decomposition reaction. Clear? Now, displacement reaction, again from the name itself, displacement, which means you are displacing something from some another substance. You are displacing something from some another substance or by using some another element. Okay, that is called as what? Displacement reaction. Here you can see from this example or from this reaction, there is a iron in the solid state, and this is a copper sulfate solution. Bracket AQ means aqueous solution. AQ means aqueous solution, which means water is there. Aqueous solution means water is there. Okay, water is mixed in the solution. So we have taken aqueous solution of copper sulfate and iron in the solid form. So because iron is very much reactive than copper, iron is more reactive. Just a minute. Iron is iron is more reactive than copper. Okay, so that's why this iron will reduce the copper, or basically this iron will replace, not reduce, this iron will replace the copper in copper sulfate solution, and in the product you will get iron sulfate, that is FeSO4 aqueous solution, and copper in the form of solid, copper in the form of solid or in the form of precipitate, in the form of precipitate or in the form of solid. Clear? So what it is going on here, basically that iron is displacing the copper here, iron is displacing the copper here and taking its place, taking its place. Such kind of reaction are called as displacement reaction, and it depends upon the reactivity of the metal, because reactivity of iron is greater than copper, so iron can easily iron can easily replace copper. Similarly, the reactivity of zinc and lead also in these two examples is greater than copper. So zinc and lead both can easily replace, or you can say displace copper, easily displace copper from its copper sulfate solution, aqueous solution of copper sulfate. Clear? And this kind of reaction is known as what? Displacement reaction. Clear? Here you can read, in this reaction iron has displaced or removed another element, copper, from the copper sulfate solution. This reaction is known as displacement reaction. Other example of displacement reaction are zinc solid form में, and in lead is also in solid form. When you add them in copper sulfate solution, they displace the copper in from that copper sulfate solution or copper chloride solution. Here from in the lead, in the example of lead, we have taken copper chloride as the aqueous solution. Again, zinc and lead, that is Zn and Pb, both are more reactive than copper, so they can displace copper easily from their copper solution, their aqueous solution, and you will get different product like zinc sulfate ZnSO4 and lead chloride PbCl2 you will get, and in the precipitate form or in the solid form you will get what? Copper, you will get copper residue. Clear? So this kind of reaction is called as displacement reaction, where high reactive metals displace the low reactive metal. Zinc and lead are more reactive element than copper, they displace copper from its compound. Clear? This is known as double displacement reaction. Now come to double displacement reaction. That one was displacement and this is double displacement. So in double displacement, basically what happens, such reaction in which there is an exchange of ions between the reactants are called double displacement reaction. Okay, like here sodium sulfate is there, Na2SO4 is there, sodium sulfate is there, and you are added this sodium sulfate with barium chloride solution. Okay, this is a aqueous solution of sodium sulfate and this is aqueous solution of barium chloride. So what will happen? What will happen? This sodium will displace this barium from here, and similarly when this barium will release from here, this barium will go and it will attach to the SO4 2 minus ion, and it will form what? Barium sulfate. Clear? So such a reaction in which there is an exchange of ions, there is an exchange of ions like Ba2 plus, here you will get ion, and here you will get twice of Na plus ions plus SO4 2 minus ion. Similarly here you will get twice of Cl minus ion. So basically what we are doing here, we are exchanging the ions, we are exchanging the ions, we are uh, giving barium 2 plus to SO4 2 minus. Similarly uh, two Na plus ions are getting two chlorine ions. So it will form NaCl, that is salt, sodium chloride, two molecules of NaCl, and this will form barium sulfate. This will form barium sulfate in solid state, which means barium sulfate you will get in precipitate form. Precipitate form. In the form of precipitate, you will get barium sulfate. Clear? So basically, what is happening here? Here, exchange of ions is taking place. Exchange of ions is taking place, and this kind of reaction is called as double displacement reaction. Okay. Now, just a small information here, that white precipitate of barium sulfate is formed by the reaction or reaction of SO4 2 minus and Ba2 plus ions, as I said here. The other products formed is sodium chloride, which remains in the solution in the aqueous form. In the aqueous form. Clear? So in the this is the fourth type of chemical equation, that double displacement reaction, that is double displacement reaction. And now at the last we will discuss about oxidation and reaction. This is our fifth type. This is our fifth type of chemical equation, oxidation and reduction. Now here you can see in this figure, this is a china dish. Okay, this is a china dish, and in this china dish, it is containing copper powder. It is containing copper powder, which means copper metal is here. Okay, and now we are giving heat to this copper powder. We are heating that copper metal. Okay, and this is a wire gauge over which china dish is basically this wire gauge is holding the china dish, and this is a tripod stand, and this is a burner. Here you can see everything in this figure basically. And see here, from the reaction you will get to know. Let's say first in china dish, when copper powder was there and you haven't provided the heat yet. Now what you did basically, uh, now what you do now, that you started the burner, and now you provided the heat, you provided the heat to this copper powder. Now whenever we are heating something, so oxygen is already there in china dish, because oxygen is always present in our atmosphere. So what will happen when you will heat this china dish, this two molecules of copper atom will combine with the two molecules of oxygen, that is O2, and they will form copper oxide. They will form what? They will form copper oxide, a black substance, copper oxide. They will form copper oxide, a black substance. So what is going on here? What is going on here? Basically, copper is getting oxygen. Copper is getting oxygen, which means what? Which means what? Copper is oxidized now. Copper is oxidized now. Why I'm saying oxidized? Because it got oxygen. It got oxygen. If a substance, last two lines, read it. If a substance gain oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be oxidized. If a substance loses oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be reduced. It is said to be reduced. Clear? Very, very important. These 2 points are very, very important. Okay, so here copper, copper copper gains oxygen here. Copper basically it gained oxygen. It gained oxygen during the reaction. So this is an oxidation reaction. This is an oxidation reaction. Clear? Now the surface of copper powder become coated with black copper oxide. This is black copper oxide. Why has this black substance formed? Why has this black substance formed? This is because oxygen is added to copper and copper oxide is formed. Because of the copper oxide, which is black in color, this black substance formed. If hydrogen gas is passed over this heated material, that is copper oxide, okay, this copper oxide and this is hydrogen gas, okay. So if hydrogen gas is passed over this heated material, the black coating on the surface turns brown as the reverse reaction take place, and again you will get copper. Again you will get copper here. And this kind of reaction where oxidation and reduction both takes place, this kind of reaction where oxidation and reduction both takes place, such kind of reaction is known as redox reaction. Very, very important. Just note it in your copy. Redox reaction. What is redox reaction? In any chemical equation, write it down just like that. In any chemical equation, if there is a oxidation reaction as well as the reduction reaction, such kind of chemical equation or such kind of chemical reactions are known as a redox reaction. Very, very important. Clear? Now try to understand. This is copper oxide, okay, and when you treated this black copper oxide with hydrogen gas, basically it now this copper oxide loses its oxygen and it converts into copper. It converts into copper. So basically when you lose oxygen during a reaction, when you lose oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be reduced, which means this is reduction. This is reduction. Here you can see in this figure, this CuO, now it is reduced. This is reduction and it is converted into copper. Similarly, there is a hydrogen gas. Now this hydrogen gas got what? Oxygen atom. This hydrogen gas now got oxygen atom and it is converted into water molecule H2O, which means this is a oxidation reduction. This is this hydrogen is oxidized, which means this is a oxidation reaction. So oxidation is also here, reduction is also here in a single reaction, single chemical equation, or in a single reaction, oxidation and reduction both are there. So whenever the whenever in any chemical equation or in any chemical reaction, if there is oxidation and reduction present in the single equation only, that kind of reaction is known as redox reaction. Very very important, redox reaction. Again and again I'm repeating, you will get question from the redox reaction in your examination, so note it down each and everything carefully. Clear? And so this is all for today, guys. Okay, you have completed your chemical equation chapters, and we have covered all the types of chemical equation. There are 5 types of chemical equation: combination reaction,